All right, what's going on, guys? It's Jeffrey here, and in today's webinar, we are going to be going over the weekly technicals in the beginning, and then I'll open it up for Q&A for you guys. So let's go ahead and we'll start with the dollar index. Let me get this reset. All right, guys, so looking at the dollar index, if this is one of the first weekly technical or live market review videos you've watched, typically I like to start with the weekly since we are starting a new week and just get a perspective from there of what I'm going to be looking at in the charts. So if we take a look at it at dollar index on a weekly time frame, we have this ICT bullish order block. All right, that's right here. That's this down candle before this up candle broke it. And you can see we've traded down into that, found some support. We were forming low, high, higher, higher, low. Now we've got a higher high above this, but we haven't broke structure yet. So a lot of times I talk about, I'm not going to switch my bias until we get a break of structure. And just in case you guys are confused about that, I'm going to go ahead and mention it right here. So the most current swing that we're trading within on a weekly basis is this high here to this low. So if we break above this high, then I'm going to expect continuation higher to 95 and then 95.50. All right, and that's going to be because we would have broken structure on a weekly basis, right? We're making highs, lows, lower highs, lower lows, then we've traded into a higher time frame support level and we've started to find support, right? How do we know that it's finding support? Well, we have to know that there's evidence of the institutions or the big funds buying the market. And we can actually see that unfold in price action as we see big movements. So you can see they're holding this ICT bullish order block. Bam, we get an expansion. 3 weeks in a row, the market's just been pushing up higher, right? And we've been calling for this 92.50 level. So the market can do two things, right? It could either go up or it could go down. So we're going to have a plan or an idea for both of those directions. That basically allows us to know when we're wrong, and also if we're wrong, accept the fact that we're wrong, and then switch and then pivot to the correct idea. Which if we're a seller and then we're wrong on a seller, then we're going to switch our bias once our invalidation level clears to a buyer. And this is how I do that, guys. I just simply look at the chart, figure out what swing am I trading within, and then I look at the current price action. So here we're within a weekly ICT bearish order block coming off of a weekly ICT bullish order block, okay? So think about this for a second. We're coming off of a weekly support level. Now we've traded into a weekly resistance level. So if we don't break above this high here, the market is still bearish. So this could easily open up next week, and then next week we could have a bearish week. Following week have a bearish week, and then just continue lower until we make a lower low here. Because if we're looking at this in terms of market structure and trend, look at what we've got. All right, so this is basically all I'm looking at. You got a high, low, lower high, and then this would be a lower low that forms. Okay, and this also goes to show you guys how, look where the lows and the highs form. They usually form at key resistance or support levels. So as the market is moving down, as it's moving down, you would have this ICT bullish order block on your chart as a potential support level. Okay? As the market trades into that, bam, you start to see it find some support, then it starts pushing away. Once this candle here breaks above these highs, it wants to go higher. And the reason because of that is, look at what it's done for weeks. It's just been holding this support level. Then you see it start to break up, So that's pure evidence right there that the buyers are in. Next week, push higher, you see, and then now look at how much resistance or how hard of a time the market is having clear through a key resistance level like this weekly ICT bearish order block here. So the fact that it's showing evidence of rejection so far is leading me to believe that dollar index will in fact want to continue lower. But I do need to see some sort of a breakdown, and we can see that on a lower time frame. But I just wanted to go over. So I start with a weekly, and I get an idea. So my idea off of this weekly analysis that we've just done is simply that going into the week, I'm still gonna be bullish dollar index technically. This is why I don't typically trade Sunday and Monday though, because Sunday and Monday will basically confirm whether I'm going to be a buyer or seller this week of dollar index. So since we are within this weekly block, I'm thinking that more than likely we're going to turn direction. We're going to start getting some selling from here. Okay, this fast movement up is just, to me, looks like a quick movement up to take anybody out that was short in here. And then trade back into this resistance level and continue lower. So I'm basically watching to see what happens Sunday and Monday, but structure-wise, it's still technically bullish, but I'm thinking this is going to be the end for the dollar index, and it may want to start pushing down from here. But if not, I mean, no worries. You know, we're planning for both scenarios. So let's go down to a daily here. All right, so keep in mind the gray box is just the weekly ICT bullish order block that we had marked out. You can see on a daily time frame, it's much clearer to see that they're finding support here, right? You've got low, high, higher, low, just consolidates, bam, here, breaks out right on this candle retest, continuation, right? So this is pretty much the exact thing that we're always looking for, right? Market proves evidence by breaking out, retest, continuation, right? You can buy it up in here, sure, but you're going to sit through more consolidation, right? Once you have the breakout, it's clear what you should be doing, right? So if we're looking at the daily time frame on dollar index, we still have these equal highs back here at 95. So will this be the next objective or not? I don't really know. Considering what I've seen on the weekly time frame so far, I'm thinking that they're going to want to take this thing lower. But again, like I said, we haven't broken structure fully yet. That's why I need to wait for Sunday and Monday, because we were talking about this ICT bullish order block here. So let's go ahead and mark that out. All right. So this gray box is this daily ICT bullish order block. We are trading within it here, but the bodies haven't broke below the candle yet. Okay, so we haven't closed below this ICT daily bullish order block here. So if we do get below that, that would make a lower low. Whether that's a wick or a body, that would form a lower low. And based off of that, I'd then drop down to a lower time frame and see if there's a clear pattern unfolding. You know, for instance, maybe we get the 4-hour close below. The 4-hour candle closes below, and then we get a retest, and then a continuation lower. What I see unfolding right here is a very, very common reversal pattern. But once we get the break lower, that would confirm it. But this little piece of price action right here at this top, anytime you see, okay, the market's been trading higher or the market's been trading lower, whatever direction, you know, you see it, So the market's trading higher here, and then you have one down day. All right, so you have one bearish day, and then the market continues up into some resistance level. In this case, it's a weekly ICT bearish order block, right? And then it starts breaking lower. If we can break below this down candle here, then get a retest of that, this would be an old support level, then turn resistance, right? So it's just, you know, common support and resistance, but old support is broken, becomes newfound resistance, right? So that would be this gray box of this ICT bullish order block, just a break lower, retest of that, and then I would expect a continuation lower. And that is one of the main reasons that I'm basically watching out for a potential bearish dollar, is because of the fact that this is just a common topping pattern that I see form a lot in the market. So if we do break below that and retest, I think that'd be a pretty good short. Not on dollar index itself, but I would be looking for longs and cable and shorts and dollar CAD, which are pretty much going to be my primary focuses. So if this unfolds, I think both of those pairs will have some nice movement, just because we've had, you know, significant downside movement on cable. So, and then now we're at a higher time frame support, but we'll talk about that in a second. So if we break below this and retest and go lower, well, if we do retest it after breaking it, then I think we're going to go lower. But if we do start to find some support here Sunday and Monday, so if we get back above 92.75, which is the top of this ICT bullish order block, then more than likely they're either going to want to hold it sideways for a bit, or they're going to take it above this high here at 93.50. Then further continuation to 95 and then 95.50, clearing out those equal highs back here. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be watching for dollar index this week. So make sure you have this ICT bullish order block on your chart. Whether it breaks lower or starts to hold as support from here will basically determine what I'm going to be looking for in cable and dollar CAD this week. So just keep that on your chart. There's no real need for us to break this chart any lower, because that's exactly what I'm looking for. If you guys remember this chart here, we were forming higher highs and higher lows. We've finally broken below that. So this is the 92.55 to 92.50 level that I was mentioning, and we're now below that. So you can see you got bearish price action unfolding here on the 4-hour time frame. And again, this is just a common reversal pattern that I see in the market. So it may be the end for dollar, and then it start pushing lower, but again, we're not going to try to call it before the fact or anything. We'll mention it as an idea, but we need to wait for the confirmation before we execute a trade based off of that. All right, so dollar index structurally still bullish, but if we break this, I think it's over for the bulls. So with that being said, let's go ahead and we'll drop into Euro GBP. All right, and then the last video we were mentioning how Euro GBP is forming higher highs and higher lows, and then we have this daily resistance level here that is the next target in terms of the upside. So that means stronger euro and weaker cable. So if dollar index decides to in fact make a reversal, that would mean that euro and cable should go higher. But if Euro GBP is trading higher, then the best trade would be Euro USD over GBP USD, simply based off the fact that you think Euro GBP is going to go higher. And then if dollar index breaks below that ICT bullish order block, that would be basically two correlating pairs confirming, what euro dollar is going to do. So you guys can see that this this was Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. So you can see basically the whole week for Euro GBP we traded down last week, found support at this ICT bullish order block here, and then started to push higher. So I'm expecting the next level for Euro GBP to be above this high here at 88.50. Again, just supporting my Euro USD long idea if we get that breakdown on dollar index. So I'm looking for a higher Euro GBP up into the 89 to 89.50 level, potentially even to 90 big figure up here. All right, so that's Euro GBP, Euro USD. And Euro USD is, so not to mention that we have Euro GBP that lines up with this, making this the better long opportunity, but we're also within a weekly ICT bullish order block here. So we basically have the inverse of what has happened in the dollar index. So we're in a weekly ICT bullish order block, drop down to a daily. We have also taken out key daily stops here, all right, into that weekly ICT bullish order block, and we're starting to push up. So we're looking for the same thing here, just inverse of what we're looking for in the dollar index. So we've got an ICT daily bearish order block right here. If we can get a push above this, that would break resistance. Old resistance should be newfound support. Retest, and then look for the continuation higher on euro dollar. All right, so just based off of looking at this so far, guys, we're probably going to be focusing on euro dollar and USD CAD. We're going to watch cable closely, but with Euro GBP suggesting higher prices, I just want to be cautious with trading cable. So if we do break above this and retest, pretty much if we get a close on a daily basis above here, any retest is a valid buy, and then you could go long from there. Now, if we start to show signs of rejection Sunday and Monday, then I'm going to be looking for a short, and I'd be targeting this low here as my first objective at 18.20. All right, so that is euro dollar. And GBP USD, we had some pretty nice price action unfold on Friday. I had mentioned in the group that we were looking for 1.3460 to get hit. And the reason of that was that is this daily candle's low here. And you could see that we came just shy of it. We didn't actually break below it. We just formed a wick and closed back up. The daily low did, however, form at 34.60. So that was a nice, cool little thing to see unfold. But I think we may just consolidate for a bit in this. So and think about this as well, right? We're expecting higher Euro GBP, and we've left equal lows in place, okay? Haven't ran this out yet. So this can consolidate within this whole range here, this whole swing. After the market retested the break of structure here, from this high down to this low, the market can just consolidate within here. So yeah, you could still look for a valid buy up into this ICT bearish order block, but that's why I use Euro GBP for correlating pairs, because I don't want to be trading this if I know pound is weaker than euro, when I can just trade euro and probably catch more pips just based off of the fact that it's stronger than cable or pound, sorry. So yeah, we could see, just a push up from there, but I'm expecting cable to probably consolidate just within this range here, unless we do get a break below this low, which I do still think we're definitely going below 34.60. I think they're just consolidating and building up the orders before taking it below there. So I'm still going to be watching this. Cable is basically my favorite pair, so I would definitely prefer to trade this, but I have nothing against trading euro. So I'm going to be watching it, but a break of this low here, a close below this on a daily basis, that's what I'd be looking for in terms of shorts. Retest of that. More than likely, there'll be some type of ICT bearish order block that forms around this level as it's trading lower. And then I would just look for the short on the retest. And then I'd be targeting, down here 1.30. These equal lows, longer term objective for cable. All right, so that's my objective for cable on the downside. Now, if we do break above this high here at 36.17, so we'll call it 36.15. And that's also another thing that I learned from ICT, guys. If you don't already use that in your trading, anytime that I'm looking at a price level, I usually round to a 5 level or a 0 level. So, for example, this is 36.17. 2 pips before that is 36.15. So I'm just going to use 36.15. Just something that ICT taught. And typically the market likes to form swing highs or swing lows around 5 or 0 levels. So that's that. If we do break above 36.15 though, then a retest, and then I would look for continuation up into this 1.39 level, right below this ICT bearish order block here. So that's what I'd be looking at for cable. And then now we're going to go over, I could go over USD JPY real quick. Not a whole lot going on. USD CAD is a lot clearer to me, as well as Euro and cable. But this, in terms of what it's going to do, I mean, this ICT bullish order block here, then they swept it. The body's held, and then it pushed higher, but we haven't made a higher high yet. Well, this is all going to be really dependent on what we do with dollar index, I think, because we're just consolidating here at this level here. I actually believe this is a weekly bearish order block. Yep, that's what it is. So you could see, guys, ICT weekly bearish order block here. This up candle before this down move, both these candles, this down move. All right, once we trade back into that, it should act as resistance. And you could see last week, doji candle. This week so far traded up, and then now the body is way down here again when it was almost above this candle. So I was expecting this high to get ran, but now that I'm seeing this and dollar index potentially wanting to go lower, if this doesn't push higher and break above this high, I think they're going to send USD JPY back down to here to 108. And then that would be a good potential buy, depending on what we see for dollar index. So I don't really see anything clear like for this week that I'd be taking on USD JPY. That could change during the week, but this could be a solid buy set up here around 107.90 to 108. And if we break this high here at 110.08, then we're definitely going to be going to that 110.20 level that I've been mentioning. And then even if we get further continuation, probably even 110.50. So 110.20 is just the bodies of these candles here. So there's resting liquidity there. We've got relatively equal highs here too. So USD JPY does keep equal highs in place for a while, though. I mean, there's actually right here. See, they have equal highs way back here that formed December 2016, and the market still never traded above those. And then you had these equal highs here that were formed, and then you had this whole down move that took place for basically 2 months. You know, so USD JPY leaves equal highs and equal lows in the market. I mean, that's fine. This could very well be the top and then continuation lower. But we do also have to remember that, you know, we have to work from a higher time frame and keep in mind where the liquidity is resting. And on a weekly basis, the liquidity is resting here above 110.20. So if we do break this low here, coming in at 108.64, let's go ahead and we'll mark that out. All right, so if we break 108.64, then I think we could be looking for sells at least down into the 108 level, 107.90 to 108. All right, so this here is a potential, what am I saying? Potential swing long. So like a swing trade where you'd enter here, buy at stop loss below here, targeting new highs. This would be a potential swing trade right there, right? But for day trade opportunities, if we get a break below this low here, any retest of that would be a valid short down into 108. So that's about a 50 to 60 pip move. And that's just the main reason I don't want to trade USD JPY right now. This isn't like, you know, this isn't super clear. Whenever we look at the other pairs, it's a lot clearer in my opinion. So dollar CAD. Dollar CAD, dollar CAD, dollar CAD. So I think dollar CAD is ready to go. Like just ready to start pushing lower hardcore. We had this consolidation and we were just consolidating within it for a while, right? You guys remember this. We're just sitting here consolidating, blah, 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 blah. And then we push back up into it, consolidating for weeks, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 weeks just consolidating right within this resistance here. Then we break up, take out anybody who got short here, anybody who got short here, back into, I want to zoom into this real quick because I want to talk about the pattern that we've seen in dollar index. It was this, right? We had a down candle, move up, it found resistance, traded lower, broke the bullish order block, should act as resistance now. Look at that, continuation lower. Okay, so how does that have to do with what we're talking about? Well, look where the market traded into, guys. If we delete that, this gray box here is just marking out this consolidation and how we were consolidating. All right, this down candle here, guys, it's an ICT bullish order block once this candle breaks above it, but we broke it here, okay? So since this candle broke it, it is old support should act as newfound resistance. Resistance, 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 resistance. Sells off. All right. Then the market pushes right back up. Finds some resistance there, right? It's within the whole gray box. So the market trades up. The bodies close higher than all these highs, which means the volume of the trading in the candle, like they've taken out anybody that was above here. Right, it's not just like a thin wick. Like the body closed above here, then you've seen immediate rejection. So anybody that was short got burned as soon as this started. I mean, anybody that was long basically got burned as soon as this started breaking lower like this. Well, we've had a break in structure now on a daily basis. We broke below these lows. We're pushing back up to retest that. Okay, so just think about what I always talk about for structure, right? We've had everything that we require. Traded up into a higher time frame resistance level. We've broken structure now, and we're looking for the retest. If this gives us the retest, we're short. You'd be targeting basically 125.50. So that's, you know, 250, 300 pips versus the 50 pip setup that we could outline on USD JPY. So I think we'll get a lot of movement in dollar CAD. This is one of my favorite pairs going forward. I just want that breakdown in dollar index to confirm it, and then I'm all over dollar CAD.
After this track, I might need me some lozenges. I ain't about to go soft. This rapping shit lately been pissing me off. Guess these words are kinda just at the tip of my tongue, but I'm still young and I hope I find the rhymes that'll live through time before that fat lady has sung. Cause when I'm inside this booth, feels like I rule the world. But I'll hop off my horse, hop in your Porsche, give it a whirl.